First date turned into a nightmare when he showed his true colors after a few drinks. I went out with a guy who seemed really nice at first. He was a bit older than me, but I didn't mind. On our first date, he brought me flowers and took me to a fancy restaurant. He was a perfect gentleman. After dinner, he suggested we go to a bar for drinks. I agreed, but I told him I didn't want to stay out too late because I had work the next morning. He said that was fine. We went to the bar and had a few drinks. I noticed he was drinking a lot, but I didn't think much of it. I told him I was ready to go home, and he said he would drive me. I told him I would just call an Uber, but he insisted on driving me. I told him I didn't feel comfortable with him driving because he had been drinking. He got really angry and started yelling at me. He said I was being rude and ungrateful. I told him I was just trying to be safe, and he said I was being paranoid. He kept yelling at me, and I started to get scared. I told him I was going to call an Uber, and he grabbed my phone out of my hand. He said I wasn't going anywhere, and I needed to learn to trust him. I was terrified. I managed to get my phone back and ran out of the bar. I called an Uber and went home. He texted me the next day, apologizing for his behavior. He said he had a lot to drink and didn't mean to scare me. I told him I didn't want to see him again, and he got angry. He started texting me constantly, calling me names and threatening me. I had to block his number.